Hey friends, we're glad you tuned in to this episode of Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast for the man's man, and all you beard-loving ladies. In this vast kingdom of nerdy incels, two men stand out as different from the crowd. BitBoy and J-Chains were both voted least nerdy in high school, most likely to have a better than mediocre podcast. Join them each week as they discuss all the hottest topics in cryptocurrency, as well as the fan favorite segment, Manspreading. So make sure to hit subscribe and turn on those downloads. Here are the dudes, Ben and Justin.
Hey everybody, welcome to Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast from the man's man and the ladies who love them. Today we got a really exciting show for you guys. Can't wait to tell you. As always, I'm your co-host, BitBoy, joined by my compadre, partner in crime, but never financial crimes, J-Chains. What is up, Jay? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to be here. Good to be on the tail end of the quarantine here in Texas. I'm super excited about this show, man. You know, it's been a crazy week in crypto, in Bitcoin, as you know.
Oh yeah. Tell them what's coming up.
Yeah, that's a good idea. For news break, guys, it is no surprise. We're talking about the recent halvening, the big news. On Token Time, we're going to look at a project that has been ripping a 3x since mid-April. And on Manspreading, this former heavyweight champ, hands of steel. I don't even know if that makes sense, but he's training, man. He's training hard, and he looks good. So maybe we're going to see this guy come out of retirement. Who could he be? Find out on Manspreading.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. That's a man's man stuff right there.
Yes.
For 100%. Before we get into, before we really get into the podcast, we're going to talk about, something interesting that happened to you today. But first, I do want to talk about something. This is spontaneous, okay, that you brought up. The quarantine. Did you hear what they announced in LA today?
3 more months. That's insane.
That's tough.
I'm glad I don't live in California. That's for sure.
Hey, in Georgia, we done, son.
We done.
Chilling.
Dude, I was out. As you know, I just got a motorcycle last week.
Oh, yeah.
My buddy Ross and I, we went ripping around the hill country. We actually found a bar that was open.
Wow. Big Ross.
Yeah, big.
I like to call him Big Ross.
Big Ross. It was a good day, man. It was kind of felt like it was back to normal.
Yeah, well, in Georgia, it does feel back to normal pretty much. There's some things, there's a few stores that aren't open. There are, like Taco Bell, still the, inside is not open. Me and my family, we went out to Outback last Thursday. So we've actually been out to a restaurant. We've done some family gatherings and things like that. We ain't having no problems around here. Here are the facts, guys. People don't like to hear it. Some people don't like to hear it. But it was overblown for sure. No question.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even in places like here, our county, Travis County, at one point, I think the last time I looked at the facts and figures last week, it was, 1,200 cases over 1.2 million people in the county. I mean, that's less than 0.1%. Give me a break. I'll wear a mask if I go into a public place if I need to, but I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, they were saying in this city near us that was pretty bad, Cartersville, Georgia. I mean, it was supposed to be pretty bad there. There was a church there, had a terrible outbreak. A young couple almost died. It was terrible, whatever. In that county where that city is, there were 281 cases in the entire county. And the chances of you getting it, even if you just do no protection and go live your life normal and touch everything like a crazy person, it's still pretty low, if you're not careful at all. So if you are careful, then, certainly you're probably going to be okay.
Just be careful.
Just be careful. Okay. Just do it.
You'll be okay.
Well, but sometimes things aren't okay, right?
No, things are not always okay like today.
Tell us what happened, Jay.
So everybody this has happened, to everybody since you got into crypto. I don't care who you are, you've invested in a project that's gone belly up. This happened to be actually the first project I ever invested in. Way back when in 2017 or 2016 or 17, whenever it was, and got an email today and a notice on Telegram that that's it. They're shutting it down. They're run out of funds. They're blaming it on COVID. I'm sure I think the last time they found pictures of the founders and stuff, everybody's hanging out in Hawaii. So yeah, you ran out of money. You ran out of everyone's money.
Philanthropy
of all people. They said they were doing it for charity, but that's what, again, that's why we preach, do your own research, right? Yeah. I think this is one of those things that I caught word of I was working for the exchange. I was like, all right, everyone's going to eat this up. Philanthropy is the first token I had heard about, about philanthropy. And I was like, I'm in. I threw a lot in there because obviously once the bull market happened, everything went crazy and yada, yada, yada. And
I really can't wait for those days again when like you're just like, I'm just going to throw random money at this thing that makes no sense.
it makes no sense. Like, and that's it. Game over. But now that's why you do your own research.
Yeah. So I think the worst project I ever invested in that I lost the most money on was this thing called Internet Node Token. It's still around. In fact, I mean, I don't think it's doing terrible. Where's it at on CoinMarketCap? INT. Oh, now they call it INT chain. It's coming in at 447. So I mean, it's still, it's still whatever. But here's what really got me with that. It was on an exchange called I think it was CoinEgg, something like that. And you had to kind of like hoodoo the KYC, say you were from somewhere else, so I said I was from Canada, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then while I had the token sitting there, the price started dropping, and I tried to get in and sell it, and they locked me out of my account because in the 3 days between when I had signed up and invested and got in the token and wanted to sell it, because it was dumping like crazy. Of course, they cracked down on the KYC and they locked me out of the account, and it takes me like 2 weeks. By the time I get back in, it's worth nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. That was like the horror story. Of a lot of my intro to crypto. So.
Oh yeah. Well, we got those good stories, man. And you know what? These stories are going to be very valuable to people who are new coming into the space. We're starting to see a lot of new people come in and not a lot of new blood. I'm getting a lot of emails from people, asking me how to do stuff. I don't have time to respond to them, but I'm seeing them, coming through, and things like that. So, we got our Telegram group. People can join if they're new and have questions, t.me/beards and bitcoins. You guys can hit that up. If you guys ever want questions answered on the show, you can do that also, ask.beards.live. We don't have a question today for the show, but if you guys want to ask one for next week, pick our brain.
I mean, it's easy. You just hit a button, send a little recording in. There's like a little bit of information it captures at the end. I don't even think we know any of that. We just get the recording.
Yeah, we just get the recording. So, so that's great. Well, one thing that new people can do is definitely have a secure wallet. And one way to do that is with Monarch token. Beards and Bitcoin's crypto podcast is brought to you by Monarch Wallet. Rule your own financial kingdom from the palm of your hand.
That is right, Ben. The team at Monarch, they are working hard to bring you the one app to access all the best crypto services. They believe in delivering tech, not hype.
With the universal decentralized Monarch Wallet, you can buy, store, spend, and earn crypto. With Monarch Pay, you can set up and accept recurring crypto payments.
For more information, make sure that you check out monarchwallet.com or monarchtoken.io today.
Absolutely. Let's get into the news of the week. Let's hit it. News break.
All right, today for news break, obviously we are going to be talking about the halvening that just happened.
Yeah,
it happened.
It happened.
It happened. The halving happened. So the question is now, what do we do? What do we look forward to besides the moon?
It's the wasn't now because it was. It was.
Wasn't it?
The wasn't. The wasn't. The wasn't. As it happened. We are past this.
6.25. We're there.
6.25. I actually did the math earlier for a video, and I think it's like during the last 4 years, approximately 4 years, 210,000 blocks. I think it was 2,625,000 Bitcoin were mined. And now in the the next go round, it's going to be for the next 4 years 1.3 625 1.3. I can't remember 1.35. Well, why is my math off on this?
I don't know
why I can't remember. But it's a little over a million. It's a shade over 1,312,500. That's what it is.
Great, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that's how many are going to be mined over the next 4 years. And then after that, it's just going to get incrementally smaller. But I think, one thing I talked about on my show today was on my YouTube channel is, we look at the halvening like the language that's always used with it is block rewards. And that's what it is. They're block rewards. But I don't think your average person that comes into crypto really understands mining enough to know what that, like, it's much simpler than that. It's half the amount of Bitcoin that were produced the last 4 years are going to be produced in the next 4 years. That's what it boils down to.
That's what it boils down to. And that's, I mean, it's good for people like us, people that hodl, people that trade, people that stack sats, or, you know, just whatever you do. It's not necessarily good for the miners. At what point does it become non-profitable? And again, you know, we've talked to Chris Walken, Crypto Chris, and, you know, about mining and stuff. And I think at some point this year, our plan was to set up a mining rig.
I've decided I'm going to get a miner.
All right. Which one are you going to get? What are you going to get?
I don't know, but I decided actually, like, literally today, I was talking to my assistant and I said, you know what? I'm going to get a mining rig. So I've now made the decision. Now it's time to start looking into it and figure out, you know, because, you know, when I got into crypto, well, I mean, I've been in crypto forever. When I started, you know, creating content on YouTube in 2018, you know, I wanted to, you know, do news. And for a long time, I was like, you know what? I don't want to do trading. I don't want to do mining. I just want to do news. Well, now I'm knee deep in trading. Like I'm in trading now for sure. So now the only thing I don't really do or know about, you know, that much is mining. So I've decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and grab me one, probably go ahead and get a Bitcoin node too. And so I can run something for Lightning Network, just so I can, you know, have my hands on it a little bit more in crypto.
So explain, because that was explained to me recently, and I thought it was a little bit fascinating. What's the point of running a node? Well, because you're not mining, right? So running a node is different. You're helping the network be powered in a way.
Yeah, all you're doing is participating in the network when you have a node, really. You know, you're helping to relay the transactions. You're not actually mining the blocks per se, but it's, you know, if you think of decentralization, right? Well, I think what most people probably think of is kind of like a digital web kind of deal, you know, like a grid with, like, you know, lines connecting, you know, a decentralized network. Well, those nodes have to run somewhere, you know, they're not actually all digital, you know, there's some hardware that comes with running a node. So, or you have to have hardware to run something digital, right? I mean, you can't like you can't just make something appear out of nowhere and, you know, whatever. So, you know, it's really just participating in the Bitcoin network. And it's something that, like, it's one of these things I didn't really think was, you know, people kill Peter McCormack for not running one. Like, how can you be a Bitcoin podcaster and not run a node? Like, come on, nerds, be for real. But I want to run one. Check it out.
My node likes to run in the fall.
Dude, that was a good joke, man.
That was a year level joke. I know that
it was. I think the last time I told you that you made a bad joke, you got offended. So I'm going to tell you, that was a great joke. That was hilarious, Jay. I laughed so hard.
You did.
Yeah, I
appreciate
it. It was.
We had to cut it out. That's how hard you laughed.
Yeah, we had to cut out the last joke. It was bad. We did do that. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to get into mining and see. You know, I want to participate. I just want to participate more in crypto than I mean, I guess a lot of people would probably say it's hard to participate more than I already participate. I make 2 videos a day, and, you know,
you're like the James Brown of content creation for crypto.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think so. Anyways, hopefully it's going to pay. It's paying off now. You know, people are watching my channel, like, you know, we're getting explosive growth. Podcast is growing. Everything's growing. So things are going really well. But now I'm just kind of at a point where I'm like, okay, like what more do I want to extend into? And so I think mining is a real natural thing, because, you know, I love to talk news, but when I talk about, like, things like mining, like where we're talking about the hash rate and, you know, some of the, you know, I don't really understand it. I'm not a nerd. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if I actually get one, I can look at it and see it. I don't care about making money with it. That's not why I want to get. I'm not looking at it like, oh, I'm gonna make so much Bitcoin.
You just want to understand it better and learn what's happening with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, there you go. You know, that way it gives me a little more depth of knowledge when I talk about mining, other than like, oh, this is what this article says, you know, so.
Correct.
But yeah, so the halving is a big deal. Obviously, we know it. We know the price is going to go up. We may go down first, but we know the price is going up. We all understand. Let me tell you, by the end of this year, things are going to be nuts. I'm positive of that.
But I think it's going to be a Q4 run.
Well, that's a question, Jay. Let's throw that back and forth. What is the next thing? Like, what's next? What is the thing that you're looking for, now the halving is over. Now we're kind of in this limbo of like, when's it going to go up? We know it's going to go up. When's it going to go up? What are you looking forward to?
Just the all-time high, the next all-time high. Okay. That's it. I mean, yeah, personally, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. I think that's what a lot of us are really chasing at this point, because you're not going to be looking 4 years down the road for the next halving.
For me personally, I think if we're looking at dollar amounts that I would love to see, I think $15,000 is big for me. And the reason why I would say that is, like, yeah, all-time highs, let's get there. 100K, let's get there. Let's do it. But, we got to 14,000 before, kind of on that fake out pump from last year. And, when you really look at Bitcoin and where it went, like, we all talk about 20K as an all-time high, but that's pretty much a wick. You know what I'm saying?
That was
pretty much a wick. 18,500, I believe, was the highest it closed at on the daily chart.
Okay.
So when you look at that and then you think, well, it really was not over. It was not over 15,000 for that long. Just a few. I'd have to look back at the chart.
Just a quick run.
Yeah, it was a quick run. It happened real quick. So to me, once we get back up to $15,000 and we kind of break through where we were at last year, and we got the halving that's already happened and people are pumped and excited, man, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great, man. I can't wait for new people. I'm seeing new people coming in every single day to the space. People I know are asking me about Bitcoin, and the only thing is, though, Jay, is like, sometimes it just feels like, we've been here before, though.
It ain't our first rodeo, homie. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I know you're about to give us some stats.
Okay. No, you're right. It was probably about so if you look from, say, maybe December 10th through December 18th, that was somewhere between like 16 to 20K.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I would say that it probably averaged around 12K for, November through the end of January.
People forget about that. I mean, we all look back and talk about the all-time high, but that was a wick. I mean, that was straight up, straight down. And, we were all very confident about where it was at that time. And, looking back, we were pretty dumb with, the way we were, moving around money and investing in all these crazy projects and stuff back then.
Oh, dude, we were all hitting the hopium real hard.
We were. But, the thing about that bull run is, even though the price started going up pretty early on, it was really slow. And I mean, I think we may see that again. We could see it go up faster, but I think this is going to be kind of a more prolonged euphoric feeling. I don't think this is going to be like, hit it and quit it. Oh my gosh, we're going straight up and straight down. I mean, we're really looking over the next 18 months for the price to go up. And when we talk about that, I mean, we're going to see a lot of ups and downs, between now and then.
That you are, and you have to know that most of the people in the space, whether they be ones that run custodial services or exchanges, they have, even though they don't want to, that they're going to have to play the rules and kind of bend to some of the regulations, and in doing so, you're going to not see to 20K overnight, like you say. It's going to be a little prolonged. I think for the last 6, maybe even longer months, you and I have been calling for it to be a fourth quarter kind of a really kind of a sustained thing until then. So
yeah, and I think we're going to see that. I do think, though, that there is an argument, and I made it on a video, why this could be different and we could start going up a little bit faster. It's not necessarily that we have to go up very fast from here, but it's just, if we go backwards a pretty good bit, like if we go back down to 6K, people are going to get real discouraged again. And I just don't want to see that, man. Like, I'm hoping the biggest drop ever after the halving was 30%. The first halving only saw a 10% drop. The last one had 30%. So that doesn't mean that we're going to have this huge drop. Now, what neither one of those cycles had was a 60% market crash, which we had less than 2 months, almost exactly 2 months to the day of the halving. So neither one of the, it was the second biggest crash of all time. So I wonder sometimes how much that crash is kind of priced in to, where we're at with Bitcoin right now. So we may not see another huge drop. I know I don't want to see one.
No, I'm ready. Yeah. I don't think anybody's really ready.
I mean, dude, these people are like, nah, happy. Man, I want more time to accumulate. More time to accumulate.
You've had 3 years.
You've had 3 years, bro. Come on. Like, no, man, I'd like to accumulate for 10 more years. Now, what?
No.
People say that stuff. But, you know.
They crazy.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about a really hot token.
Token time.
Okay, so let's talk about a project that has been, really hot lately. This came out of the 200s all the way up into the top 100, charging up the charts. UBT, Unibright. A lot of people like this project and things like that. And personally, I love it. I think there's a lot of great stuff about it. What do you think about it, Jay? Or give us some numbers.
Give some numbers. All right. Here we go. So, circulating supply, they got about 149 million.
Not bad.
Just shy of that. Not too bad. Out of a total supply of 150 million, excuse me. So, it's not like they're hiding anything and stashing things away at the moment. Market cap 46.5 million. You can see that thing popping up. It's ranked 93 right now.
Yeah.
See, it's a 52-week high low, 39 cents, and just under a penny. So it's got some pretty good fluctuation. That's a nice little popper. Yeah. So this thing's done like what, a 3x in the last month?
It's killing it. It's doing so good, man.
And it's based on Ethereum. I actually don't know a whole lot about it. I popped over to the Unibright Telegram today to try to get a little bit of information, talk to those folks. Now I know that they're on Ethereum, and there's a couple updates that there's going to be coming up with. But what do you know about them?
I actually do know a pretty good amount about this project, which is good that you don't, and I can tell you. So kind of the way I've described it, I think the easiest way to think about it is it's kind of like, it's not a website design, template, but it's kind of trying to do for blockchain what WordPress did for building websites on the internet. So if you were to go back to the internet, let's say in 1999, let's say we started this podcast, we decided we wanted to make a website on the interwebs. Mm-hmm. How would we do it? What would we do?
I don't know. Maybe GoDaddy? Was GoDaddy around?
Yeah.
But I don't know if they made
close.
websites. And I actually don't know. I wasn't doing any graphic design stuff around the turn. Was that the turn of the century? Right?
Well, yeah, century. Yeah. No. Yeah.
No.
Millennium. A millennium and a century. Both.
Wow. That's
wow. Blew your mind right there. But what you're saying right here is perfect, because that really demonstrates the point. You would have had no idea where to start. Like,
exactly. Oh, like if you're trying to tell me like, oh, I need to start a blockchain for my company, dude, I would have no idea where to start.
No idea. And no, like, you work with buses, right? NCAA buses, things like that. Now, if your business wanted to go on the blockchain, how would you do it? You would have no idea. That's kind of where UBT comes in. So they have templates that help businesses get their business running on blockchain. It's like plug and play. Like you integrate their, template, their portal, with whether it's your supply chain or your data storage, whatever it might be. And they've got like kind of different, kind of like with WordPress, how they have themes, like, oh, we want this theme and it comes with all these functions. They have kind of similar things too. So they got, different kind of templates for different businesses. So anybody without knowledge of blockchain, if they just understand how to use a computer, you can now integrate your business with blockchain. I think, man, that is just giant for the space.
That's big time. Yeah, I guess some of the things that would be worth noting is that they're coming out with some, and I don't really know what really any of this stuff was, but something to do with like their framework. I guess they're doing something with Microsoft, right? Yeah, they partnered with Microsoft and SAP and Lufthansa.
Oh, Lufthansa.
That was something that said that they SAP Microsoft Dynamics with Link Oracles coming this month. Ooh.
So yeah, and I think I see a lot of similarities, honestly, in this project and Chainlink. Not in terms of like, obviously one is oracles and one is, blockchain templates to get your business on blockchain. Right. But, when you look at all of these companies partnering with Link, they're partnering with Link to use their, decentralized smart contracts or their oracles. And it's like Link has a service they're providing, and they're helping businesses and crypto projects work hand in hand. And that's what UBT is too. I really believe in a lot of these projects that, they lift up the entire space. It's not like, Monero, for instance. Like, I love Monero. It's a privacy coin though. Like, it's not really, unless you're wanting to do shady business, or keep your transactions private or whatever. Like, if you're another crypto project, like Monero's not really doing anything for you. Like, their business, it's a store of value, or it's a currency. It's not doing anything for you. But these projects are doing things to, spread blockchain, to make it easier to integrate with real life. And I think that is one reason why Chainlink has been, so successful. And Ethereum's the same way. Ethereum is a project that has kind of enabled the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem to exist. If it wasn't for Ethereum, I mean, what would altcoins really be?
That's a great point. Didn't Vitalik said that 2.0 is coming, at the end of July or something like that, like without fail. I know it's been like long anticipated and delayed, but I heard that he had made some announcement that it was like the end of July or something. I could be wrong. I'll have to fact check that.
Dude, I think when they announced ETH 2.0, I think we had just started the podcast or something.
I know,
like that.
It has been a long time.
And I remember thinking when they announced it, and they're like, it's not going to come out for a few years. I was like, oh my gosh, will we still even be in crypto in a few years? And here we are. It's coming out, pretty soon. Crazy.
Yeah, I said that it's still on track for a July launch. I guess it doesn't say when in July. I've just always assumed kick it to the end so that you can give yourself the whole month in case there's a delay.
So anyways, I think UBT has got a lot of potential. I think it's got a lot of potential to be, a hot up and comer. If you're looking for a coin that's got potential to get up into the top 20, top 30, that's, relatively low still in coin market cap, I think UBT is probably as good of a pick as any to get into.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about coins, and if you want to have, say, maybe your favorite coin or projects or things that you're investing in appear on Token Time, we can talk about it. Make sure that you join our Telegram channel, Beards. It's t.me/beards and bitcoins. Come chat with us about your favorite projects. We'll try to get that one and we'll talk about it. But if you're from the Unibright Telegram channel, pop on over to our channel and talk to me more, because Ben knows a bunch. I could learn more.
Yeah, I can only teach him so much.
This is like the sensei.
All right, guys, let's head on into a place where we can actually just be dudes. Manspreading.
All right. There was a video that came out yesterday of this gentleman training Mike Tyson, Iron Mike. Holy smokes, dude. What did you think of the explosive power in this guy who's 53 years old?
Well, unbelievable. And I'll tell you this, though. When I saw the video and you said that he could be training for a comeback, man, that gave me the goosebumps. There's nothing I would love to see more. I would pay $200 to watch Mike Tyson fight again.
Dude, you know that he's got to fight someone young, because there's no one his age that could still play, that could still box like that. Dude, the guy who was training with him, I felt bad for him. If he took one to the face, he'd be done. Okay,
let me say this. I'm going to say this right now, and we're going to stick to this. If Mike Tyson has a comeback, you and I are going to the fight.
We're going
for sure. We are going. It'll be the hottest ticket. I don't care how much it is. We're going.
I don't care if we sit in the nosebleeds. We're going.
No, I don't mind sitting in the nosebleeds. That don't ever bother me. I like having a good view from up top. Okay. But I think when I saw that video though, and you said he was making a comeback, I got the goosebumps and I was like, man, this is crazy. But it made total sense to me that he would be making a comeback based on that video. And the reason I say that is because Mike Tyson has been very adamant before that he does not like to work out and train, because when he does, he said it takes him to a really, really, really dark place. Like he gets in that killer mindset. And so when I saw him training and I read, I was like, oh, it makes sense if he's doing it. He's actually going to try to box someone and really fight someone. Mike Tyson doesn't work out or train like that, for fun.
No one would be moving that fast for fun. That guy has got like he's after something. And I think like it's funny, like at the end of the video when he looks, he's like, I'm back. Like,
oh my gosh. I've got a couple real big regrets in my life, and like when it comes to sports. One is never watching Michael Jordan play basketball live in person.
Dude, I gotta please tell your story, but I got a thing about that.
Yeah. So I never watched. Now, that's why I watch Kobe a lot of times. Like Kobe's my favorite player. I went to LA a couple times to watch him, so I'm here in Atlanta, and things like that. But I never got to watch Mike Tyson box. In person. And if I got that opportunity, I'm taking that for 100%. That Mike Tyson's got to be one of my top 3 athletes of all time.
Oh, I mean, just absolutely. And like, yeah, he might have bit. Was it Holyfield? He might have bit his ear off. It doesn't matter.
God. That was such an unbelievable story. Like I remember, so when that fight happened, I was in Hilton Head, South Carolina on vacation with my friend and his family. I was probably 13, something like that. We're out there like trying to peep on girls and stuff. But every morning before we go hit on the girls in the bikinis, we would go and fish in the morning with his dad. His dad's name was Tater. Tater would take us fishing down there at the beach. So we go down there with Tater. We catch some sharks. And so that morning I got up and went down there, and he was down there fishing, and we met him, and he said, "Boy, you hear about what happened last night?" I was like, "No." And he went talking about how he bit his dang ear off. I couldn't believe I was watching him bit his dang ear off. It was just so funny to listen to him tell this story. And I'm just sitting there like, as a kid, trying to understand, like, how did this man bite another man in a boxing match?
How did he bite his ear off?
Oh, gosh, it was crazy. And so, right after we got done fishing, I ran up, watched SportsCenter. Back then, you actually had to wait for it to come on. You couldn't, you couldn't just click through. There wasn't internet, back then, really, or we weren't using it a lot.
No, so man, things were way different back then.
Yeah,
way different. So, all right. So, speaking of back then, speaking of boxing and all this, that's going to be our Twitter poll this week, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about who is your favorite boxer of all time. Now, with that being said, we understand that Twitter has got limitations to 4 boxers, and there's more than 4 best boxers of all time, and everyone's got their own opinion. But for the sake of a poll, we got 4 on there. Yeah. What do you think? Obviously, because we're talking about Iron Mike, we got to talk about, he's got to be on there, Mike Tyson.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you got to go Muhammad Ali, obviously.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah. I think you have to go Floyd Mayweather. I hate Floyd Mayweather. I think I cannot stand to watch him. It's like watching paint dry, watching him box.
That fight with him against Conor McGregor I hated it.
Oh, gosh.
I wish McGregor would have just torn him up.
I wanted McGregor to win so bad, but it became very obvious after about the 3rd round, because McGregor was doing pretty good in the beginning. It became very obvious that Mayweather was just toying with him in the beginning. Just toying with him. So sad. But I know we had somebody we kind of talked about for the 4th one, but the 4th one to me is kind of difficult. I mean, I think those are the 3 you kind of have to put up there. Some people would say, I think Sugar Ray Robinson I think Sugar Ray Robinson is number 1 for a lot of people. He's undefeated, I believe. But I don't know who is that 4th that you're going to think about putting in the poll.
I don't know, man. We could put Sugar Ray. I mean, you got Holyfield, you got Foreman. I mean, those actually Foreman wasn't.
He's champion. I mean, he beat Muhammad Ali. He did pretty good,
There's a lot of good people. I mean, we could leave the 3rd place.
Lennox Lewis is really underrated. He was a great boxer.
Remember Butterbean?
Butterbean, yeah. What about these new guys? We actually got some new guys.
That's funny. I actually, since MMA started, that's what I shifted over to for my kind of combat arts, right? But now if Tyson's coming back, I shit you not, guarantee you I'm watching that fight.
Guarantee.
We're going.
Did you not? So you didn't watch the Wilder Tyson Fury fight? Okay, so Deontay Wilder is he's like the new Mike Tyson. Now he got beat, but Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury's like a giant. He's like 7 feet tall. He's huge. And I will tell you, I paid for that pay-per-view and I watched it here in my office. That was the first time in years and years and years where I felt like I was watching real boxing. Because, like we've watched Pacquiao and Mayweather.
They just dance around. These guys just dance.
Yeah, man. I want heavyweights.
Slugfest.
Probably the last good boxing match that I remember watching was I think it was probably Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. I think when Mike Tyson was trying to come back then, I think I think that it gets foggy what order it was in, But after Lennox Lewis and those Klitschko brothers started winning, that's when the Klitschko brothers are so boring and nobody that they really fought had been good. So, this is the Fury versus Wilder fight, even though Fury roughed him up pretty good. It was the first time that I was like, this is boxing. And dude, to me, boxing is so much better than MMA when it's done right, when it's big boys in the ring.
Yeah, when they're having just a shootout, just blasting each other and going at it. That's the thing. That I think to me, once MMA started and it got really exciting, and they started building these good cards, and there was these guys that were animals. Because growing up, man, when it was Liddell and whatever, I mean, all these guys that were just animals. It's whoa, this is so much more exciting than watching two dudes just dance around in a ring with a couple hits here and there. This is action, but it'll be fun to see some real fights.
There's nothing better than good heavyweight boxing, in my opinion. To me, MMA gets boring. It's really watered down to me because it's they got a new UFC card every other week. You can't keep up with who's the best, whatever. They just get each other in these little locks, and yeah, I mean sometimes you get some good punches, but they're short rounds, they're short fights. I mean, I guess the rounds are actually kind of long, but they're short fights, 5 rounds at the most, I think. The thing about heavyweight boxing that makes it so special is it's so hard to get to that very, very, very top. And as we've seen how it's been so boring lately, not only is it hard to get to the top, it's hard to even have good people at the top. So when it happens, it's really special. And you don't have there's not 10 guys where you're oh, these guys can all win the championship. We want to watch all 10 of these guys, box or whatever. So getting a good heavyweight boxing match is kind of like a unicorn. You know what I mean? And that's why I really like it. And I've tried to get into the smaller, lightweight boxing guys and stuff, but I just, I can't do it.
Welterweights, featherweights, weenie weights.
That Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao fight was so freaking dumb and boring, and we all paid so much money for that. And we're so excited, and it sucked,
What was the one that was just maybe 2 months ago? It was
that was the Wilder Fury fight.
Oh, then I did see that. My next door neighbor is a baseball player, and he invited us over because he's home.
Must have been real memorable.
It was. I just.
You have a couple. You have a couple to drink.
I had a couple sips, couple pops.
Couple sips, couple pops. You don't know what happened. Dude, when Deontay Wilder came down to the ring wearing that mat, dude, he came in this black mask, and then friggin' Tyson Fury came in on this throne, dude. It was nice, dude. I'm looking forward to a rematch or whoever they fight next. I'm going to watch those two guys box now, for sure. If they're boxing, I'm watching. I like both those guys. So it'll be real fun. And I would think that if Mike Tyson's coming back, he's coming for one of those guys.
Dude,
right?
Could you imagine that?
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, dude, we're really going, though. I want you to know this. We are going to this fight.
Dude,
whoever it is.
We're live streaming everything from there.
Oh, dude, it'll be so fun. It'll be in Vegas. Dude, we'll be living it up, partying. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. Watching boxing. I love it. Well, it has definitely been a great show today. We're gonna get that Twitter poll up for you guys. Man, I love talking man stuff. I know that.
I know we get excited. I know we could talk about that stuff all day long.
All day long. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Beards and Bitcoins Crypto Podcast. Till next time, we're out.
Thank you for listening to the Beards and Bitcoins Crypto Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you are subscribed on your favorite podcast platform and help us spread the word by sharing your favorite Beards and Bitcoins podcast episodes on your social media. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter @BeardsBitcoins to participate in the weekly poll, chat, and share fire memes. Oh, and don't forget to visit our website, beardsandbitcoins.com, for more episodes, information, and merch today. See you next time.